So the Electoral College is now essentially a done deal. We know who's going to win that. So we have other things to go into. We just had Tulsi Gabbard join the Republican Party. Not that it makes a massive difference to the race, it's just something to note. But we do have more polls, and we can talk about the Senate race. We've got so much to get into today, but before all of it, I'm going to get this out of the way to start off with. We're at 320 subscribers. We have less than 2 weeks now until Election Day. Can we get to 400 before Election Day? That would be the dream. Anyway, we can now go to Polymarket again. We know that all of the states now are over 10 points in Trump's category. He leads the overall chance of victory by 28 points, and he leads every swing state. We know that. The popular vote, he was at 40% yesterday. He's now at 39%, but it's gone up since, say, 2 days ago. So again, looking good on that front. It's gonna probably, if it keeps trending like this, it will be close to 50-50. We can actually look at it, but by Election Day, it might be close to 50-50. We see Trump. This is from mid-October. This is from a week ago. And he's slowly crept up. He got to 43% yesterday. That was his peak. And then since then it's gone down a little bit. But it's the McDonald's, him being out there and really connecting with the voters, that's going to, at the very least, inspire his base to get out there. If they haven't already maximized that, they're certainly doing so now. Again, the presidency is going to go Republican. The Senate is going to go Republican. We can get into the Senate because there may be one senator out and a couple of other senators in for the Republican Party. We'll see. And then we have the House, which has gone back Republican, but that is going to be on a knife edge. Now, we can go to the polling. We have Florida polling, which has Trump +8, which, you know, maybe it's looking closer to a +10, but this is Emerson. Emerson tend to be quite good, although the Hill are liberal. Emerson tend to be pretty good with their polling. Texas is +7, which this might be their last Texas poll before the election. Maybe they'll probably do one more, actually. But, wow. I mean, Trump +7, that is basically what we've been saying. We've been having it around +6, and then Florida about +9. So this is kind of in line with what we're saying. Maryland +30. We know this is one of the most Democrat states. The National from TIPP has Harris +2. That's not enough. She needs to be at +3 realistically to win. But the multi-candidate race does have her at +3. Although they're saying, and this doesn't correlate completely, but just looking at this overview, although it's not from the same pollster actually, so maybe that makes a bit more sense. But Harris allegedly at 49, and Jill Stein at 1, and then Trump at 46. We'll see about that. That's leaving, 4% undecided still, so, or, third party less than half a percentage point. That would be a lot of different third parties. So essentially, you're leaving 3.3-ish points up for grabs there, which is not realistic. We have the Florida Senate. Rick Scott is going to probably hang in there. The Texas Senate. Now, look, we know our electoral map. We know how this looks. So we can go to the Senate. And if you don't know what it looks like, check out the other videos. We did a 2-week out prediction not that long ago. But the Senate is Washington and California are going to go blue, of course. Hawaii is going to go blue. And then we have Minnesota, which is blue. We have all of these states over here, which are going to go Democrat. Although Hogan, he's competing in Maryland. It's not on the battleground state list. So it's not looking like he's going to win. But Republicans like him. He's a very good candidate. Just in a very, very blue state. We just saw that it was 30 points. And we see here, also Brooks is up 14 in the polling, so it's not particularly close. If Hogan was in, let's say, a Virginia, maybe it would be a little bit closer, or maybe you put him in an Arizona. But anyway, this is how the Senate is going to look. We We can go through these battle states in a second, but we can go through the states that are locked down safe, no problem. We have Mississippi, Tennessee, Missouri, Indiana. Florida is probably going to be under 5 points, but so actually we'll leave that. West Virginia is a flip as well. That was Democrat, now that will be Republican. No question, that will be Republican. New Mexico is going to go blue as well. And that leaves roughly 9 up for grabs. Now, we can go state by state. Nevada, it's looking like Rosen is going to take this one out. So there you go 44. You say Arizona. Arizona, Kari Lake is not looking like she's going to get over the line. It would take a pretty major turnaround for Kari Lake to get in there, and she's slipped away the last few months. So it looks like that's going to go blue as well. Now we have Montana. Or actually, we'll get into Montana last. So we have Michigan, where Slotkin leads in the polling. But with such a large Muslim population in the state and her staunch pro-Israel position, it's interesting. Of course, Rogers is not exactly anti-Israel, but Michigan there will go. But you may see a higher third-party vote share in the state in that case, if there is a third party running. So that could cost Democrats the seat, but I doubt it. I think they will take that home. Wisconsin's another one that's looking like it's going to go blue. Baldwin over Hovde, although again the race is narrowing, so that will be one to keep an eye on. We have Pennsylvania, where McCormick has also closed the gap to Casey, and it's getting very close now, and this could end up being a flip. But again, let's say it is blue. That leaves us with these 4 states left, and Democrats, while they lead the polling in Ohio, it's not that, Ohio's polling is essentially, if Brown is up 2, he's probably going to lose. So, again, that's probably going to be red, but for the argument's sake, let's say it's not. We did have, and this is the poll we need to keep an eye on, is the Cruz versus Allred race. Now, this is the first poll since their debate, and Cruz is up by 1 in Emerson. So, this is really now a really close race. Of course, Florida is most likely going to go red, and Montana's at 7 points. So, let's say Republicans lose Texas. It's still 50-50, and we're saying Trump has a 64% chance at the presidency. That means that they would win, with the tiebreaker being the vice president. So, they would take Democrats flipping Texas, first of all, which is a major flip, and then they'd have to take something like a Florida or a Montana off the board. I mean, they've essentially, this would be their ceiling. 50 is their ceiling, unless one of these candidates did a Robinson in North Carolina and just completely imploded. Something comes out and they just explode. But I think this is their ceiling for Democrats. But Republicans could pick off Texas, or hold Texas rather. They could pick off Ohio, they could pick off Pennsylvania, they could pick off Michigan and Wisconsin. Nevada's probably out of range, maybe in Arizona on a really good day, and then you'd be at 56. That is a big control over the House. Now, look, are they realistically going to do that? Probably not. They're probably going to lose Arizona, and probably Michigan. Wisconsin's probably closer to a toss-up, but again, you say Wisconsin goes blue. That would be 53, and that probably means Trump can get most of the things he wants through the Senate. Of course, you're going to get people across the aisle. That's why you don't really want this situation where you only lead by 1, because you may lose on some issues. But Ohio there, it looks like it's going to go red now. And then Michigan and Wisconsin, it's going to come down to election day and, what is the level of ticket splitting that people are going to do. But it's 52-48. Republicans have rebuilt the trust, in the party over the last 2 years. So maybe people will be more willing to vote for them last time after the false red wave of last election cycle. But we will quickly go to our map. We'll fill it in. We'll do a quick one over here. So, of course, Trump's going to win this. We're talking about Trump winning the popular vote. If he wins the popular vote, he's going to, what are we looking at that point? It would be, let's say, so Democrats have got 211, so I'm missing a state. It's these two. So we have. What states would be up for grabs, or what states would move if Trump were to win the popular vote? That would be essentially a 4.5 point swing from last cycle. So he may be picking off states that people don't expect. So if Trump were to take a popular vote win, he would win Florida probably by more than 10 points. Now, his good performance so far in Florida is probably what's moving this margin, to be honest, of the popular vote getting closer, because it's one of the biggest states and he's running up the numbers. Texas would be the same. If Texas is 4 points, he probably doesn't win the popular vote, but if it's 7 points, he might win it. So let's say Texas, I don't think Texas is going to be over 10 points, but it could go to 8 or 9 probably the peak. Then you have, of course, he's going to win Arizona, he's going to win Georgia, he's going to win North Carolina, he's going to win Pennsylvania, he's going to maybe win Wisconsin. I'll preface that. And then that's given the polling bias again. Go back and watch the other videos if you don't know about that. Then we have Michigan, and Nevada is going to lean blue. So, again, the popular vote is not... it's less important than going state by state, because Nevada's got, a few million people in it, or less than a few million. So really it's not going to have all that much bearing on the popular vote. You're talking about tens of thousands of votes, rather than in California. If he can really get his base out there, that's a couple more hundreds of thousands of votes. So that will affect the margin a lot more than Nevada. So it's these numbers that we're not really looking at. We did get a New York poll the other day, actually. It said Harris plus 19 from Siena. Now, Siena are liberal, so maybe it's closer to 17. But again, 17 would be a good performance in New York. That would be better than last time. And that would bring, again, the popular... He's doing well in the big states. He's doing pretty strong in California, considering she's from California. He's doing... At the moment, from what we see, he's doing well in Texas. He's doing well in Florida, quite well indeed, and he's doing, fine in New York. He's not underperforming, that's for sure. And then Pennsylvania, he's of course winning there, and those are your biggest states. And then Illinois, of course, is just going to be, that's a lost cause. And then you're getting into states of less and less people, so it doesn't have as much bearing. But especially California, Florida, Texas, and New York are going to have the biggest bearing on the popular vote, and it looks like he might take it. He's never won it, just to remind people. He's never won the popular vote. He lost in 2016 by roughly 1 to 2 points. I think it was 2. In 2020, he lost by 4.5. So this would be the first time, and he's never really come close to doing it. So the fact he's even close means this is over, and it's all about running it up in the state. Of course, he can't get complacent. I'm sure he's not going to be doing rallies in California the day before the election, but it's certainly not looking good for the Harris campaign. And now, listen, they turfed Joe Biden out because he was affecting down ballot races, and now you're losing all of the legislatures. It's not good. But anyway, guys, if you think Donald Trump's going to win the popular vote, let me know in the comments down below, or what the margin will be, what the third party vote share will be, because that'll make a big difference. I think it will be very small this time. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Like, share, comment, subscribe for the British perspective on American politics. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.